Take a picture of you two bees. There you go.
Yes. Nice. Heavy.
Hi, I'm Taylor.
And I'm Megan.
And this is
The Bee Club.
Today, we visited a local honeybee farm and we got to see how bees make honey. Along with seeing the process of the local beekeeper we spoke to, we got to ask him questions regarding our project and we learned a lot of information, and we're gonna watch it right now with you so that you guys can learn that information too.
So we met with our teacher mentor, Dan Ouellette. Dan Ouellette and his family is one of our family friends. And we went to his farm, Fenway Farm, to see his honeybees, and he also gave us a farm tour of his chickens.
When we bought the property, it was on land use. Land use is when the county deems it agricultural, and they'll give you a tax break on your property taxes if you continue it in agricultural. And they give you a list of things that you can do to qualify as agricultural. I don't know what the latest standards are, but when I bought the property was you had to have 1 cow or a horse or like 7 goats. So I did chickens, and then the villagers are laying hens. I also do meat birds. Oh. Are you familiar with them? If you ever go to Harris Teeter or Giant Food, you see the ones on the rotisserie going around. Those are meat birds.
Next time you go to Harris Teeter.
Meat birds.
Meat birds.
There is 100 of those. The county came out and said, yeah, they really don't qualify for land use. So I was like, oh no. And he said, why don't you just get a couple beehives? So I got 2 beehives in 2017, and it turned into that.
Wow, okay.
That's where I keep all my bee stuff.
Oh, nice.
The original owner had horses here, and I just wasn't, I'm not a horse person.
So how exactly do you beekeep? Like, what does that involve?
Good question. Bees are interesting. They're really self-sufficient. They know how to take care of themselves. They've lived in the wild for a long time. But with bees, what you have to do is you have to make sure they have a nice house. So then you have to make sure they have enough space. You want to make sure that there's pests out there and parasites that would get on them. So you want to make sure they're treated. When it's all nice and green around here in July and August, there's really no flowers. There's not a lot of nectar. So you actually have to feed them sugar syrup.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
And that helps them prepare to get through winter. In the wintertime, I pretty much don't do anything. Just leave them alone and make sure they're in their home and, you know, have what they need.
Okay, if I'm being really I didn't know that bees like needed sugar water. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, especially like in the late summer, like a lot of flowers aren't in bloom anymore, so it's just like leaves and stuff. So there's not a lot of place for them to get nectar and pollen and all that fun stuff.
Right now it's black locust is blooming. You see the white flowers on the tree? They love that. That's got a lot of nectar on there. When we walk up there, you'll see the bees are really busy. That's why they're not in a move to sting you, really. Well, why don't you go up there and take a look at it? Okay. All right? The lightest, but it's also the funniest looking one. So why don't you wear that one?
Is there like a season where honey's really good, or is it like
right now?
Right now.
Oh wow!
Okay.
It's the nectar flow starts when you see the dandelions up. When you see dandelions up, that's usually an indication for me to put the honey supers on the hives. And it goes through, then you got all your black cherry trees, autumn olive, which we have lots of that around here. Black locust is the big one. And then once that goes, then you start getting clover. The saying is, when clover is over, the flow's over.
Chickens too.
Chicken content.
Too bad that's right now is also swarm season. That's when you ever hear about the people that, oh, these bees are on my car or they're on this lamppost. That's how the colony want to continue their species. One way is for the queen to lay eggs and make more bees. The other way is for that queen to say, okay, we're grown up, we're big enough, we have a lot of bees in here, so I'm going to leave, and she takes half her other bees with her. And you'll see them just come flying out of the hive. It's pretty cool. It's almost like a bee tornado. They'll cling on to a branch or a fence or whatever. They'll hang out there, and then they'll send out scout bees to go find a permanent home. And the scout bees will come back and they have their little dance or whatever, or they try to convince the other bees, hey, I found a great home. Come check this out. If they all like it, they'll all get up and leave. And that can take anywhere from just a couple hours to a couple days where they'll stay all clumped together.
So what Mr. Ouellette is talking about right now is about swarm season, and mainly a lot of those swarms goes on like people's houses, like a nearby tree, on their car. It's also a very fundamental part of their bee habitat, so they can start a new hive.
A lot of the times when bees are doing these swarms and they get onto people's personal property, people resort to the use of pesticides. Although this seems like a fast resolution to the problem, using pesticides on bee swarms like this is actually very bad for bees and the environment. We strongly encourage you not to use pesticides if you're trying to get rid of a swarm, and instead call local beekeepers like this who are willing to go out and take your bees. After he brought us over and talked to us for a little bit, we then approached the hive.
No one's allergic.
No. No.
Some of you, if you do get stung on the leg, they don't usually go for the legs. They actually go for your eyes.
Nice.
So if they do, just slowly walk away. But I'm really not worried about that because they are, as you can see, they are busy just getting food.
I was gonna wear it to prom.
You ready?
Yes.
No, seriously, I was like kind of anxious, but like ready. You don't know how you're gonna feel until you see like thousands of bees just like there.
I was kind of scared. Going into it, I was like, oh, it's gonna be fun, it's gonna be fine. And then like getting there, I was like, what if I start freaking out? Like, what if they like check your vibes, and if your vibes aren't good, then they start freaking out.
Yeah.
So if you're freaking out, they're freaking out, and it just becomes a really bad situation.
The vibes ended up being good for anyone
Very,
who's worried.
very good vibe. He also told us what to do and what not to do around the hive, so we stayed safe throughout that whole process.
Wow.
Just the outer cover, inner cover. This is something called the Vivaldi box. I use it just for moisture control and ventilation.
Wow.
Oh boy, that's heavy.
In that one shot back there, you could see like clumps of bees falling off like together that they were like trying to hang on to the top of the box, but they were all falling. It was like kind of funny
I know,
to watch.
it's crazy.
Now, the first 3 boxes, that's their brood chamber. That's their house.
Okay.
That's where she lays her eggs. That's where she, here's one checking me out. Anything above that are your honey supers. That's extra honey. They have honey down here, and when they fill this up in the fall time with eggs and honey, that should get them through the winter time. So this is the extra for me, all right, to sell as honey. And I'll show you what that looks like. Because they are the world's original hoarders. They'll keep on storing more and more honey, even more than they need. As you can see, there's all honey in there. And this is called capped honey. What they'll do, again, talk about how smart they are. They'll pack this thing full of nectar, all right, make the honey, and then they'll actually dry it out till it gets below 18.5% water, and then they'll cap it. And that honey will stay good forever. So once that's fully capped, I'll take it out, uncap it, and extract it. But they're just busy as heck.
That's cool that they can make it last so long.
Yeah.
Want to hold it?
No, I'm good.
That's nice. That's going to be giving me about 3 pounds of honey each frame. So I have
Wow.
to shake this off so I don't squish them. So they really don't like this. It'll save me from squishing a lot of them.
You couldn't see this on camera, but when he went to go shake off the bees from the lid, it was like covered in bees, and he just like tossed it into the grass, and my eyes, when I tell you, I literally was just like, what? And all of the bees just went like,
This is called the 10 frame Langstrom hive. And so it's 10 frames in each box. This is called a nuke. It's got 5. Usually if I have a smaller hive, or if I just want to actually take some of the bees and comb and everything, I can actually make new colonies. That's kind of what happened here. There you go. Take a picture of you two bees. There you go.
Should we hold a frame, Taylor?
Is that a good idea?
It's up to you.
I'll hold it. You don't want to hold it. I will.
Possible.
Let's see. That's a drone. That's a male bee.
Okay.
The ones flying around you, most of those are female bees. The female bees have the stingers. These don't have a stinger.
What's the purpose of the drone then?
They have one job, to mate with the queen.
Oh.
That's it.
So you're telling me female bees do everything?
The females do everything.
Wow.
They're actually the ones that feed the drones. The drones won't even feed themselves. Girl power, right?
And then I decided I should hold a frame.
We decided this video needed to be a bit more dramatic.
There you go. You want to hold this one? Yeah. There you go. And you can see the nectar in there. They haven't capped it yet. Just a little bit. This hive swarmed, so it lost a lot of its honey gathering power.
Yes. Crawling on my hand.
See all the capped honey? Now feel the weight on this one. Hold it good. Okay.
Yeah. Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah. Turn that around. Show them. That's the capped honey.
Nice.
Heavy. I'm gonna get like a close up of the bees.
Yeah. There we go.
Yes, bees.
Nice. Good
Nice.
job. You did
Yes.
good. You did good.
So I held 2 of the different frames. The first one that he handed me did not have a lot of honey on it, but it wasn't too heavy. But when he handed me the second one, it was like significantly heavier and I wasn't ready. And there was like bees everywhere. They're crawling on my hands. So yeah, it was just really cool because like I got to like hold them and like the bees were there.
Yeah, they're just killing it.
Oh my god.
Ooh, they're busy.
They are.
Dang.
A lot of gift. This is a good hive.
Are the hives competitive at all? Or do they just kind of do their own thing?
They will. Like right now, there's so much nectar out there. They don't have to be competitive with each other. But once the nectar starts not flowing as well, call it robbing. They'll start trying to rob each other. It's almost like, what's that show? Dragon show. I forget what.
Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones.
Ah,
It's like
Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones, but bees.
Well, yeah, because winter is coming, so they gotta be.
Yeah.
I've never seen Game
Dragons?
of Thrones, but
No,
bees.
But what the bees will do is if they see a weak hive that has honey in it, they'll try to get in there and steal whatever food they can. It's called the dearth, when there's no real substantial amount of nectar out there. They'll start trying to steal from each other. That's when you see them in garbage cans, eating from the Coke cans, or drinking your sweet tea out on the porch. You know, that's called the dearth.
You can like hear them when you walk past.
Yeah, they're loud.
See clover starting to come up.
Oh.
He really just
Yeah.
stuck his hand in there for real. Just went bees.
Yeah, he just like scooped them up off the side.
Yeah. It really shows you how like passive bees are and how reluctant they are to sting you. Yeah.
What's the importance of the queen? I'm not really sure what her job is.
Lay eggs.
Just lays eggs?
Lay eggs.
Okay.
And she's not the boss. And the drones aren't the boss. And the queens aren't the boss. The whole hive kind of is their own boss. If the queen doesn't do her job, they'll kick her out or kill her. And so they, as long as everyone's doing their job, they're allowed to stay.
Okay.
And once they're done with their job, once the drones leave and they go mate, once they mate, they die. So they don't come back to the hive. Once the worker's job is done, they're dead. The workers right now only live about 6 weeks. They literally work themselves to death.
There's no I in B.
There's no I in B for real. It's
I
really
always
cool.
thought that the queen was like mandating things. Like,
Yeah, I
you
thought,
go do
yeah,
this.
it's really interesting because I always had the philosophy that the hive can't survive without a queen. But in reality, like he just told us, if the queen isn't doing her job mating correctly, the bees literally collectively decide to throw her out and crown a new queen.
They don't just throw her out, they just kill her. She's gone.
Bees are very efficient, a very large community, and they pride their work. They are not messing around.
Oh, Brigitte.
And there's a pecking order. And when they're little tiny chicks, they determine the pecking order.
Wow.
Who's the queen and who's next in line, and below that, like the reds,
Mm-hmm.
they're the bottom of the totem pole.
Oh.
Yeah, they get beat up on. So, and they love, like when the black locust blooms fall, that's like candy for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wrote down, I had some note cards of just some quick questions
Sure.
if you wanted to
Yeah.
answer some.
Let me take my gloves off.
Oh yeah, take your gloves off.